Hello everyone, my name is Pixie People, and today we're going to talk about what if Deku had Venom, not a symbiote, you know? Alright, so let's start the tale. We start our story in Deku's childhood, saying he never got a quirk. You're not getting a quirk, kid, it's just that. Come here. Then during Deku after Deku sees he has no quirk and is very much informed that he has no quirk, he gets real sad, just ungodlily sad. Man goes into depression, man can't even eat, man stops eating. That's how sad he got. And this is during summer, so Deku then is terrified. Nah, not terrified, but since this was over the summer, he's a bit afraid because his friend Kachan might not like him without a quirk. But then he tries to push that out of his mind. He does eventually, but sadly, the truth is, Bakugo did think him differently to when he had a quirk. Really, it gets real violent. As a 15-year-old, as a 5-year-old, kids are naturally very, very violent because they don't know what's right from wrong, you know? After Deku, mm. In Bakugo's mind, if you don't have a quirk, you are legit trash. You're beyond, you are an animal. You are an insect to him. To Bakugo, if you don't have a quirk, you don't deserve to live. So, obviously Bakugo can't kill a person, or he might get in trouble. Instead of him like thinking he's gonna go to jail, he thinks he'll just get a slap on the wrist for killing him, and he doesn't want that because he wants his good grades so he can be a hero in quotation marks. These are some serious quotation marks this time. Um, after after a couple of years of this, well, one day it got a bit too violent for Izuku's health. He was about 7 at this time, and then Deku gets beat so hard. He's he gets beat so hard today that he actually starts bleeding. He starts burning. His skin starts like bubbling. He starts actually burning. Like it's like if he doesn't go to a hospital, he will die. Luckily for Deku, his his mom obviously would not let her son just die because this is in the park. So she saves her kid, and actually forces Deku never to talk to Baku ever again. But he's actually never talked to Baku in forever. The only time they've ever actually talked is when Bakugo wants to beat the crap out of Deku. So it's kind of hard for her to move because her job isn't as stable as it in canon, as it is in canon. Because He's now weak. Deku is weaker. After Deku gets to after the hospital visit, he tries to stop meeting with. He tries avoiding Bako at any means necessary. One time, he worked so hard to get away from Bako, he broke his arm. He ran from him so fast that a freaking car hit him. That's how badly Deku wants to be away from Bakugo. And he doesn't call him Kachan. He never calls him Kachan ever. He calls him Bakugo. Sometimes he even calls him Demon Child, which is very accurate. You're gonna see why in a second, in a couple parts, why I keep thrashing Deku. After Deku, in a after about 6 years, no, 7 years. I can't believe that took me that long to like add up 7 to 7. Yeah, so Deku's 14 now. I think that's where his age is at the beginning of the series. And yeah, we're now at the beginning of the series. It's Deku. It's Deku getting up, eating cereal, and walking to school, to middle school. And then Deku falls. He keeps. Oh my god, he's a furry. I'm kidding. But Deku does stop at the bus, gets on the bus, and then just gets and then gets tripped, breaks his nose, but he just shrugs it off and gets up with a broken nose. His nose is bleeding. And people start throwing trash at him. Someone threw a slushie at him. Now his hair is ruined. And he doesn't give it 2 fucks right now. He's gone through beating after beating, and this is probably a fine day. He'll say it's a fine day. Well, it's better than most days. Because it's the end of the year and no one's really caring about Deku now. Well, actually, I think it's the second month of the year. Yeah, I think it's their second month at middle school. And Deku already hates it here. And then Deku continues to work. Then he gets this assignment, works on it, and gets it done. Then he puts it in the basket. The teacher grabs it, says, "Good work, Izuku. Go see a doctor. Your nose is broke. Go see the nurse. Your nose is broken." And he goes to the nurse with a note, of course. And then he goes to the nurse. The nurse doesn't care about him. Just gives him a freaking ice pack. Actually, doesn't even give it to him. She throws it at him, which then gives his nose even more severe damage. He just grabs it and then leaves. That teacher there, that was the only one that mildly cares for him. Like, he doesn't want to see him dead. But everyone else, yeah, they want to see him dead. Very dead. And Deku goes through the day getting tripped, trash thrown at him, lunch, sandwiches, spit wads. He's just getting shot at, not with loogies, and it's disgusting. People keep people keep hurting Deku. They keep her. They keep. He punches. Bakugo appears sometimes, burning Deku. He's been burned often. He's been burned very often, so he's kind of used to Bakugo's burns. And since Bakugo is not really Bakugo is actually weaker in this version because he's more interested in hurting Deku than actually training. Instead of Deku wanting to go to UA now, he just wants to go to any UA school, any hero school. He likes he likes to he just wants to be in one. Um, and he really doesn't care. Instead of them like saying uh uh Deku's going to UA, they said that he's going to a random hero school that doesn't really matter in the story right now. Everyone's still triggered by this because how dare he even think of going to anything except a trash can or an incinerator or a hook. A Dead by Daylight reference there. That was a terrible time to make a reference. And then Deku, he doesn't care. Until Bakugo actually hits a nerve in Deku. Like, he says that if you want a quirk, which Deku doesn't really want a quirk anymore, just jump off a building. Preferably this building. Today. And Deku then thinks... He actually snaps. He very much snaps. Instead of Deku just turning around and like just whining, Deku gets up and breaks Baku's arm. He's not just bro is buff. Bro runs up on Bakugo and breaks his arm, and he doesn't end there. Instead of Bakugo like be able to fight back, he's about to throw an explosion at Deku, but Deku grabs his hand and then shoves the explosion into Bakugo's face, which burns it. Not very lethal, but like it does hurt. And then he falls to the ground. Deku then grabs his book bag and starts slamming his book bag against Bakugo's head. He just keeps doing it and doing it until Bakugo starts bleeding out of his nose. His teeth are starting to go flying everywhere. Bakugo is getting beat hard. He should not have said that, or he wouldn't have got this beating. If he said anything else, basically anything else, any insult, accepts that, he would have been fine. But no, he had to go there. And now where are you at? Beaten by a person you perceived as weak. The only reason Deku was able to do this, like if he fought Canon Bakugo in middle school, he would lose, but now he is able to do it easily. Deku is beating hard. Like, Deku beats, like, he's not even done, bro. After, like, his book bag explodes with his stuff, he then grabs his uh his switchblade because he has one just in case someone tries assaulting him in that isn't from his middle school, and then starts uh stabbing Bakugo's shoulder instead of going for the heart like a person would. He just keeps stabbing. Yeah, remember this Deku is way more like clinically insane uh than original Deku, who wants to be a hero. Deku just wants to be quote unquote hero, a person that just gets. He's not even doing it to save people anymore. He's just doing it to uh, piss off everyone who wants to. Everyone who said he couldn't be a hero. Deku is not a good. He's a good person at heart, but you don't just beat a person because they didn't have something that you have. So yeah, this deck is very fine. And then he sticks the blade in Baku's leg, and you're wondering why anyone's going for him. Well, actually, a lot of people have tried to get him, but Deku just breaks them. He breaks their mental psyche by popping them in the nose, which breaks it. One punch has broken their nose. Every single student there tries to get Deku off, even the girls. But Deku doesn't even care about gender, bro. These hands are E for everyone, brother. And then Deku, like, you know that girl that could control her hair tries to grab Deku off. He just cuts her hair, which surprises her obviously, and then just runs towards her, grabs her neck, and then just pops her. She took a nice nap, bro. Good night, lady. Deku is just eased. He's eaten everything that the buff guy, you know, the guy that could that was buff. Yeah, he gets his head slammed into a desk, and then another person tries getting him with a chair. It's the rock guy, but Deku just weaves it and just bops him. So even you know the security that is in the middle school? Nah. Deku still is running hands. He actually took because the security guards relied on the quirk too much and really didn't care about whoever tried to mess with them. So these guys just get clapped. They took a nice nap. Good night, sir. It's because Deku has a little notebook and is able to know who everyone's quirk is. So when they try to like surprise Deku with an attack, it doesn't work because he knows all their attacks. So my boy is getting shmeaned around the table a lot. So then Deku just beats up the entire middle school until a hero shows up. It's like a low class hero, but he does know. But this hero knows how to use the quirk. It's a slime hero. Well, like not the slime villain, a slime hero. Imagine imagine being the guy that has to be told that a villain that has almost the same quirk as you is terrorizing people. And then, yeah, Deku violently beats everyone. Like, he violently beats every single middle school person. And this hero, that's a slime hero, is barely, I mean barely beat Deku. The only reason he beat Deku is because Deku didn't know his quirk. If he knew his quirk inside and out, that guy would be dead. Even if Deku just knew one of his abilities, he would lose. Because he only has one ability. He's he's just getting beat hard. So, and that is all Deku says. And then, yeah, the hero barely beat Deku, and then Deku goes to jail. Yeah, of course he's gonna go to jail. He almost killed a student, and then beat the crap out of women, which is assault. He just he gave 0 Fs about anyone in that middle school. Any girl, any guy, any teacher, except for the teacher that was actually mildly nice to him. I mean mild. Is the only one that actually came out with like any almost lethal injuries. Like one guy got his entire arm broken. It snapped. It was snapped like 4 different places. And then they had to remove his arm because there was no way for him to use it. So now that guy has no hero career. And Bakugo, he barely lives. He almost dies. And instead of Bakugo like seeing this as a life-changing experience, he actually feels that now he has to kill Deku. Like instead of Bakugo just saying he's just gonna beat him up for that. No, he's gonna kill him. Like in the hospital bed, he starts. It looks like he's about to make an explosion in his hand, and he says that he'll kill him when he becomes a hero. He will. He will. And like loud in his brain because he barely can speak. He's not gonna burn his entire throat just to speak. So yeah. So Deku is feel Bakugo feels he's going to kill him, but well, after in Deku's jail, he is a cellmate named Eddie Brock. Yes, Eddie Brock, Venom, you know. And then Eddie Brock is a pretty evil guy. He's actually killed multiple people in his life. He's been killing a lot of people. He's killed multiple people, and I will not cap about that. He's killed multiple people. Eddie Brock. This isn't redeemed Eddie Brock. This is evil Eddie Brock. You know, the original Eddie Brock. And then that is. That was dope, bro. And Deku is unfazed. He's completely and utterly unfazed from Eddie Brock's mass murder. Carnage doesn't exist in this timeline, but Eddie Brock does see Venom crawling into a cell, and then he gets it, and then leaves immediately. He almost tries to kill. He tries to kill. Actually, he says, "Have a good one, kid. I'm giving you a free escape. Take it." Eddie Brock actually likes Deku because of his violent tendency of beating the crap out of all of his classmates and the entire class. He gives Deku actual respect. This evil Eddie Brock gives my boy actual respect. He he does care. He does not care. Deku would rather, and Deku does not respect Eddie Brock at all. But Eddie Brock respects Deku. But yeah, guess what happens? There's a slime ball on the ground. And you're wondering how Eddie Brock got into Japan? We don't need to know that. And then this slime that Eddie Brock left behind after turning back into Venom, Deku picks it up, and then it just fuses to him, and his eyes start glowing red, actually glowing white, and then he just immediately gets the entire slime over him, and then it just clones into a Venom. It's a Venom clone, and then Deku blacks out. Then Deku wakes up into an alley with no shirt on, with mouth, with blood all over him. There's blood all over him. There's blood like there. Like, you would not even recognize this as a person. You would recognize that as a meat. That's how bloody Deku is. So instead of Deku like being fazed by this, he just gets up, finds a homeless guy, kicks him in the mouth, and then takes his coat. Also, I recommend not doing that because I would hate you if you did that. Deku is doesn't care about a lot anything anymore. If you tried becoming friends with Deku, you'd just realize that this guy hates everything and anyone who tries to befriend him, because he just assumes you're gonna hurt him later. He very much assumes Deku. So they're just gonna betray him and beat him up. So don't try becoming friends with symbiot Deku. And then Deku just leaves. Deku then leaves. Where are you going? And Deku does not feel any sympathy for anyone who tries being friends with him. He really hates people. And he can kin with his symbiote because later that night, Deku goes to sleep on a mattress. A very disgusting mattress. Like, I don't even want to explain what's on it. You don't want to know what's on it, and preferably, I don't think you want to know what's on it. I don't think you want to know what's on it. So Deku just sleeps on it, using his coat as a pillow. Deku is very concerned about his. And then he wakes up. Uh, then he wakes up into his mindscape with a with a with a glob with a face on it, some big teeth on it. And Deku says, and Deku ends his ask who this creature is, and they say, I don't know, but I do know I was born from someone named Venom. And Deku says, I know a guy named Venom. Well, his real name's Eddie Brock, but he goes by Venom. When he has this black thing on him. But, Deku keeps saying that he, if you would like to work, do you want to work together to, keep you sane? And the Venom symbiote says, fine. Deku really doesn't, the whole reason Deku is saying this is because he saw how strong Eddie Brock was with the Venom symbiote. Instead of, because Deku, he does care for him, the symbiote, in a way that only Deku could show. Dope trick shot. So their relationship will grow soon. And Deku still has his, his outfit from middle school. He's actually been in prison for 2 years with Eddie Brock. That's why Eddie Brock respects him. So now he's 16 now. His birthday was a month ago. And Deku does how much time have we doing this? Oh, we're good. I got this. So I'm like really focused on this. Come on. Alright, I'm done. Alright, sorry. I'm really focused on this. I want to hit the clamshell. Come on, man. Fine, I'll stop. We want to get this done. After Deku says what does he say? Alright, he says he likes being on his own. But if the Venom symbiote wanted to become, partners, like Eddie and Brock, well, Eddie and Venom, that would be fine with Deku. Yeah, because that's all Eddie would talk about, was Venom. That was all he would talk about. It was Venom. And Deku does not give two fricks about Venom, but he'd like to figure out how Venom, how Venom and he would be good friends. how Venom and Eddie were good friends, so they could be partners in a way. Okay, we've been in Deku's mindscape, so the Venom symbiote smiles and says, "If I can kill people and eat them, well, okay." So Deku wakes up and then he leaves. Jotunfut. And that's all Deku. And that's Deku's. Then Deku wakes up in a different alley than the one he fell asleep in. Actually, no, he's on top of a skyscraper with blood all over him again. Then the Venom symbiote shoots his head out of his Deku's body and says, "Sorry about that. I, uh, I went on a rampage while you were sleeping." And Deku doesn't care. He just says, "That's fine. I did say you could eat people if you wanted to, if you so choose, or until we can find a substitute of blood."